can you describe or try to describe what perfect consciousness is embodied in a human being?
Right. Well, first of all, I haven't experienced perfect consciousness in myself, so I need to make that disclaimer first. And secondly, uh, you can't, uh, perfect consciousness or pure consciousness or infinite consciousness, whatever you want to call it, is beyond the mind and beyond thought and beyond words. So you can't describe it anyway.
Mm,
But if I was to try, I mean, just, the way I kind of approximate it when I try to talk about it um, is the the essence of us all, our most, your most essential feeling of existence, your most precious feeling of self within you, your beloved feeling of your we say the beloved within you, the higher consciousness, the greater consciousness, the great spirit within everyone and everything.
like the witness?
The witness is also another way of saying it. The witness is another way of saying it because, say, for example, you say, I am. Okay, there's an I there, I am. But there's a second I behind. The I know that I am. That
Mm,
first I is witnessing your I.
yeah. That first eye is witnessing the amness when
That's right. Yeah.
yes.
So the first I is the supreme I, the overall I of the universe.
Mm,
So the concept is that your I feeling or feeling of existence or awareness is part of the greater I feeling or existence or consciousness of the universe. Your consciousness is one with the infinite consciousness of the universe, just like a wave is one with the sea. There are many different waves on the surface of the sea. They're all individual waves, and you'll note also that they all have a very transitory existence, but they're all one with the sea. The sea, they're one with the sea, and the sea is the essence of them all. So just like that, uh, our consciousness is one with the infinite consciousness of the universe, and that infinite consciousness pervades and is the essence of all minds and all things and all beings in the universe, the entire universe.
everything, right?
Everything. Everything is one.
Yes. Yes. And do you see that as, I can say that to you and you can say that to me and we agree and we nod and say, yes, everything is one. But not, you wouldn't be able to say that to everybody else at this time. And and actually come to that conclusion. Um, do you see that, is that part of that science that you talked about that I actually forgot the name of earlier?
Microvita. Microvita, yeah.
Yes. Is that the belief is that we are collectively going to come to that conclusion eventually, that everything is one and live on that level and wavelength of consciousness?
I believe we will. Uh, we're evolving as humanity on this planet. We're evolving very fast. We're undergoing a huge shift in consciousness. It's happening very quickly,
Yes.
and I believe that we'll very soon we'll get to the stage where we recognize, we're aware of consciousness more and more within our lives and within the whole concept of the existence of the universe, and we'll work with that on that paradigm. I believe we've gone through this materialist paradigm for the last 200 or 300 years or whatever it's been since the Renaissance. I think that kind of crept in after they rejected religion. Religion has basically gone downhill since then,
Mm-hmm.
and materialism has come up as the kind of like the accepted paradigm in the world. But now we're realizing that that's not a suitable paradigm. Uh, and I believe that this spiritual paradigm of recognizing consciousness as the essence everything in ourselves and working according to that paradigm with science and technology and all sorts of things. Like, for example, with computers also, we can go even further. There's been huge technological advances, but we can go even further by using cells and the consciousness in cells
Mm.
as memory banks and things like that. So there's many different ways in which we can use this concept of consciousness, the consciousness paradigm, rather than the materialist paradigm, to improve our lives and to evolve even further as humanity on this planet. Because, of course, we've come a long way. Say, for example, as human beings, we've been on this planet for around 1 million years. You know, the first cavemen, for example, evolved about 1 million years ago. And so, and the evolution for the vast majority of that time, that 1 million years, was very, very, very slow.
Mm-hmm.
And then about 10,000 years ago, there was the agricultural revolution, and so it kind of sped up. And then there was the about 500 years ago, there was the industrial revolution, and it sped up even more. It's like an exponential curve, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then 50 years ago, there was the information revolution, and we've been going through that. And I believe now we're accelerating even more into the upward swing of the exponential curve with the spiritual revolution.
Mm. Yes. Yeah. The spiritual revolution. I definitely, and yes, it's like every day that goes by, it seems to be the curve is getting steeper and steeper. It seems just, and
Yep.
it really just comes down to more people as every day that goes by realizing, there's more to life than just materialism. Like you said, there's more to the human experience than just getting stuff and gaining things and the ego. There is more to this experience, and that's
That's
what
right.
always interests me. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I'm agreeing with you.
Oh,
Absolutely. Yeah.
it always interests me that um how people come to these conclusions, this newfound state of being. Like that's why I called it the conscious perspective. That's what I call that, the conscious perspective of kind of where we're heading to, like that same wavelength, that paradigm that we're talking about. I see it as just like a matter of perspective, and it always, everybody has a different story. It seems to be from struggle. Like some people just have just like very traumatic events. Some people go through psychedelic experiences. Some people meditate, yoga, kundalini yoga, whatever it is. But there's that wavelength that you touch upon, and it seems like you just don't go back. Like it's like once you open the door and you see on the other side, even if you close it, you know what's on the other side. And it's just like something that it's like a switch in our heads. And yoga is a way to, it seems, activate and stay on that wavelength, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, if you're a frog in a well, for example, you would think that the well is the only reality. But say, for example, that frog jumped out of the well and it saw around it that there's a greater reality. Then, of course, it's not going to believe in. Well, I don't know. It might forget being a frog, but you're not going to. Once you experience a greater reality, you're not going to forget that it exists.
Yeah.
If you're stuck in the house, you've only grown up in a house, and then suddenly you go outside and you see there's a much greater reality. You're not going to believe that inside the house is the only reality anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So the of course this is an advantage of mind altering drugs, but I don't recommend that. That's not a sustainable path.
No.
But mind altering drugs can open the mind to a greater reality.
Mm-hmm.
And once you're open to that, then there's no going back, because we as human beings, we don't want to go backwards. We only want to go forwards, and we're evolving. We're continually in the process of expanding our minds and expanding our existence. So this is a natural process of expansion of mind, and the way to do it sustainably is through yoga and meditation, or the yogic lifestyle.